6 months. That's all our marriage lasted before Ethan handed me the divorce papers. I stared at the documents sitting on our kitchen counter, my hands shaking like crazy. "Sign them, Adrian," Ethan said, his voice cold as ice. "We both know this was a mistake." I wanted to argue, tell him he was dead wrong, but the words just stuck in my throat. Because maybe he was right. Maybe our marriage really was a mistake. I picked up the pen, my vision going blurry with tears I refused to let fall. Just as I was about to sign, my phone buzzed on the counter. A text from Dr. Chen at the fertility clinic. "Congratulations, your test results came back positive. You're 4 weeks pregnant." The pen slipped from my fingers and clattered onto the floor. Ethan's eyes snapped to me. "What's wrong?" I couldn't tell him, not when he was so desperate to bail on our marriage. So I lied. "Nothing. Just, can I have one more day to think things through?" Ethan's jaw clenched tight, but he nodded once. "1 day, Adrian. That's it." He grabbed his jacket and walked out. The door slammed so hard the whole apartment shook. I put my hand on my stomach, still completely flat. How the heck did we end up here? Let me back up. My name's Adrian Park. I'm a B rank Omega, nothing special. I work as a librarian in downtown Seattle. Pretty quiet life, predictable routine, boring as heck, honestly. Until the day my best friend Maya practically dragged me to some fancy charity gala. "Come on, Adrian, you gotta get out more. You're 26, not 60. I seriously didn't want to go. Those fancy parties? Not my scene. Too many alphas, too many overpowering scents, way too overwhelming for someone like me. But Maya wouldn't take no for an answer, and honestly, I've never been good at saying no to her. That's where I met him. Ethan Cross, S-rank alpha, CEO of Cross Technologies. Stupid good-looking, like ridiculously so, and completely, totally out of my league. I was hiding in a corner, nursing a glass of champagne when he walked right up to me. Not big on crowds? His voice was deep, smooth, the kind that made your knees weak. I nearly dropped my glass like some clumsy idiot. Up close, he was even more gorgeous. Sharp jawline, intense gray eyes, dark hair styled perfectly without even trying. Not really, I stammered like a total dork. Ethan smiled, just this slight curve of his lips that somehow made him even more attractive. Me neither. I'm only here because my mom organized this whole thing. We ended up talking for like an hour straight, about books, about tech stuff, about everything and nothing all at once. His scent was subtle, cedarwood and fresh rain, calming instead of overwhelming like most alphas. For the first time in forever, I actually felt comfortable around an alpha. When the night ended, Ethan asked for my number. I gave it to him without even thinking twice. 2 weeks went by. Ethan and I had been on 3 dates. Coffee at this cute little place, dinner at an Italian restaurant, some art museum he thought I'd like. Everything felt perfect. Way too perfect, if I'm being honest. Then, on our 4th date, he dropped a total bomb on me. "Adrian, I gotta be straight with you about something." We were at his penthouse apartment, this insane place overlooking the whole city. My heart literally sank. Here it comes, I thought. The rejection. "I'm not really looking for a relationship," he said carefully, like he was choosing every word. Of course not. Why would someone like him want someone like me? "But," he continued, "I need a spouse, like really need one." I blinked, totally confused now. My dad wrote this crazy clause in his will. If I don't get married before my 30th birthday, I lose everything. The company goes to my cousin Jate. "And your birthday is?" "In 3 weeks. Ethan turned to face me completely. "I know this sounds absolutely insane, but would you maybe consider a contract marriage? 1 year, then we're done. You'd get paid, like really well paid." I should have said no, should have walked right out that door. But I looked at Ethan and saw something behind that calm expression. Desperation, maybe. Even fear. And I thought about my own problems, my student loans crushing me, my mom's medical bills piling up every month. What would this arrangement actually involve? Ethan's eyes lit up with hope. We'd live together, show up at events as a couple, but totally separate bedrooms, separate lives. After 1 year, clean divorce, no drama, no strings. He named a figure that would literally solve every financial problem I had. I took a deep breath. Okay, I'll do it. 3 days later, we got married at City Hall. No big ceremony, no guests, no cake or flowers or any of that stuff. Just us, a judge, and 2 random people they pulled in as witnesses. Ethan slid a simple platinum ring onto my finger. I did the same for him, my hands shaking the whole time. "I promise I'll make this as painless as possible," Ethan said quietly. I nodded and forced myself to smile. But as we walked out as actual husbands, something twisted painfully in my chest. This wasn't how I'd ever imagined getting married. Moving into Ethan's penthouse was surreal. The place was massive, 3 bedrooms, floor-to-ceiling windows everywhere, expensive everything. "Your room's down the hall," Ethan said, barely even looking at me. "The one on the left, mine's on the right." He handed me a keycard. "The code for the front door is 030258. My birthday. Should be easy enough to remember." I noticed he'd barely even bothered asking when my birthday was. "There are some ground rules," Ethan continued, pulling out his phone. "I'm sending you a document now." I opened the message. A detailed contract popped up. Rule number 1, separate sleeping arrangements, always. Rule number 2, no getting involved in each other's personal lives. Rule number 3, show up together for required social events. Rule number 4, no scent exposure during heat or rut cycles. Rule number 5, divorce proceedings start on day 366. At the very bottom, Ethan had typed a note. "This is purely business. Let's keep it professional." I swallowed hard. Got it. Understood. The first month living with Ethan was weird. Really, really weird. We barely even saw each other. He'd leave for work before I woke up, came home way after I'd already gone to bed. On weekends, he was either stuck at the office or out with friends I never met. The only time we actually interacted was at these mandatory events we had to attend. Charity galas, business dinners, awkward family gatherings. Ethan would hold my hand in public, put his arm around my waist, play the perfect, loving husband. Then the second we got home, he'd disappear into his room without saying goodnight. I kept telling myself I didn't care. This was just a job, a means to an end. But late at night, I'd hear him on phone calls through the walls, laughing with whoever was on the other end. His voice sounded warm and genuine in a way it never, ever was with me. It shouldn't have hurt, but man, it really did. Month 2 brought what I now call the Gala Incident. We had to attend this huge tech industry event, like the biggest one of the year for Ethan's company. I wore this fancy navy suit Ethan had insisted on buying for me. "You're representing me now," he'd said. "You need to look the part." At the gala, Ethan introduced me to what felt like 1,000,000 people. "This is Adrian, my husband." The word husband sounded so foreign coming from his mouth every single time. Halfway through the night, I excused myself to find the restroom. In the hallway, some drunk alpha cornered me out of nowhere. "Well, aren't you a pretty little thing?" he slurred, stepping way too close into my personal space. His scent was thick and nasty, alcohol mixed with something that made my stomach turn. "Excuse me," I said as firmly as I could, trying to step around him. He grabbed my wrist hard and yanked me back. "Don't be rude now. I just want to talk for a minute." Panic shot through me. My glands started swelling up, reacting to the threat. "Let go of me!" Suddenly, the guy was ripped away from me completely. Ethan had him by the collar, slammed against the wall so hard I heard the impact. "Touch my husband again?" Ethan growled, his voice dangerous and dark. "And I'll personally make sure you never work in this city. Ever." His scent flooded the entire hallway. That usual calm cedarwood turned sharp and threatening. The drunk alpha went pale as a ghost. He scrambled away the second Ethan let go of his collar. Ethan immediately turned to me, his expression shifting from pure fury to concern in seconds. Are you okay? Did he hurt you?" I was shaking, whether from fear or from Ethan's intense scent. I honestly couldn't tell. "I'm fine, thank you." Ethan's hands hovered near me, like he wanted to reach out but didn't know if he should. "Let's go home," he said quietly. The whole car ride back, neither of us said a word. But when we got to the penthouse, Ethan actually walked me all the way to my bedroom door. "If you need anything," he hesitated, "I'm just down the hall, okay?" It was literally the most considerate he'd been since our wedding day. "Thank you, Ethan. Really." He nodded and started walking away. Then he stopped, turned back. "I meant what I said back there. You're my husband, even if it's just on paper. I won't let anyone disrespect you like that." My heart did this stupid little flutter thing. "Good night, Ethan." "Good night, Adrian." Month 3 brought my heat cycle, and honestly, total disaster. I'd been super careful about it, tracking everything, taking my suppressants religiously, never missing a dose. But apparently stress can trigger heats early, and I'd been way more stressed than usual lately. It hit me at like 2 in the morning on a random Tuesday. One second I was fine, the next I felt like I was literally burning alive from the inside out. I stumbled out of bed and grabbed my emergency suppressants from the bathroom cabinet. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely open the stupid bottle. It slipped right out of my grip. Pills scattered all over the bathroom floor. "No, no!" I dropped to my knees, trying desperately to gather them up, but my vision was already going blurry. The heat was completely overwhelming my senses. I needed to get back to my room, lock the door, just wait it out alone like I always did. I managed to stand up on wobbly legs, maybe 2 steps. Then my legs completely gave out under me. I heard a door open somewhere, footsteps getting closer. "Adrian?" Ethan's voice, sounding worried. No, he couldn't see me like this, absolutely not. "Stay back," I managed to choke out. "I'm going into heat." Silence for a second. Then Ethan was right there beside me, kneeling down. "Let me help you get to your room. No, Rule 4, no scent exposure, remember?" "Forget the stupid rules," Ethan said firmly. "You can't even stand up right now." He lifted me up easily, like I weighed nothing. The scent of cedarwood wrapped me completely. It was usually so calming, but now with my heat in full swing, it was absolutely intoxicating. I buried my face against Ethan's chest and breathed in deeply without meaning to. Ethan's arms tightened around me. "Adrian." His voice had dropped lower, gotten rougher somehow. He carried me to my bed and laid me down gently, started to pull away. I grabbed his wrist without thinking. "Don't go. Please don't go." Ethan froze completely. "You don't know what you're asking right now." "I do. I just need you to stay. Release some calming scent. That's all, I swear." For what felt like forever, Ethan didn't move at all. Then he sat down carefully on the edge of my bed, closed his eyes and took a deep breath. Cedarwood filled my entire room, thick and soothing and perfect. The heat didn't disappear completely, but it became bearable at least. "Thank you," I breathed out. Ethan's jaw was clenched tight, his hands balled into fists on his lap. "I meant what I said back there. You're my husband, even if it's just on paper. I won't let anyone disrespect you like that." My heart did this stupid little flutter thing. "Good night, Ethan." "Good night, Adrian." When I woke up the next morning, I was alone. There were suppressants on my nightstand, a glass of water, a note written in Ethan's handwriting. "Took the day off, left breakfast in the kitchen. Rest up. E." My heat had gone down to manageable levels, thank God. I found Ethan in the living room, working on his laptop like always. "Feeling better?" he asked without even looking up. "Yeah, thanks for last night." "Don't mention it." His tone was back to being cool and professional, like nothing had happened. I sat down on the couch across from him. "Ethan, can we actually talk for a minute?" "About what?" "About us, this whole arrangement. Are we really gonna keep pretending we're total strangers living under the same roof?" Ethan finally looked at me directly. "We are strangers, Adrian. This marriage has an expiration date stamped on it. Getting attached would be stupid for both of us. His words stung way more than they should have. Right, of course. Silly me. I stood up and went back to my room, but I couldn't shake this feeling that Ethan was lying. Not just to me, to himself too. After that whole heat incident, something shifted between us. Ethan started actually coming home earlier from work, would eat dinner with me instead of hiding in his room. We'd watch movies together on the couch, have these long debates about books and random stuff. He'd ask about my day at the library, actually listen when I talked about annoying patrons or new book orders. It was really nice, honestly. Dangerous, but nice. One evening we were cooking together. Well, I was cooking while Ethan attempted to help. How do you even manage to mess up boiling water? I laughed as smoke filled our kitchen. It's a special talent, Ethan said, completely deadpan, but his eyes were smiling. As I reached past him to grab a towel, our hands touched. The contact sent this electric shock through my whole body. Ethan's eyes went dark. He didn't pull his hand away. Adrian. My heart was racing like crazy. We were standing so close now. I could see these little golden flecks in his gray eyes. The moments stretched out, filled with tension. Then Ethan's phone rang, shattering everything. He jerked back and grabbed his phone. Gotta take this, work stuff. He left the kitchen in a hurry. I leaned against the counter, trying to calm my racing pulse. This was bad, really bad. I was catching serious feelings for my contract husband, who wanted nothing more than a divorce in a few months. Month 5, Ethan's mom invited us over for Sunday dinner. Miranda Cross was elegant, sharp as a knife, and honestly kind of terrifying. "So, Adrian," she said while we were eating, "how exactly did you two meet?" I glanced at Ethan. We'd practiced our story a bunch of times. "At a charity gala," I said smoothly. "We talked all night, everything just kind of fell into place after that." Miranda studied me like she could see straight through the lie. "And you work as a librarian?" "Yes, ma'am." Quite different from Ethan's usual type, I must say. Ethan stiffened beside me. "Mother." "What? I'm just saying, that model you were dating last year was very—" "We're not discussing my past relationships," Ethan cut in sharply. Miranda just smiled, completely unbothered by his tone. After dinner, Ethan and I stood outside on the balcony. "Sorry about her," Ethan said quietly. "She can be a bit intense," I offered. "That's putting it way too nicely." We stood there in comfortable silence for a bit. "Can I ask you something personal?" I ventured carefully. "Sure, I guess. Why didn't you just marry someone you actually cared about instead of doing this whole arrangement thing with me?" Ethan's expression went blank, closed off. "Because caring about someone gives them power to hurt you. This way is easier." "That sounds really lonely, though." "Maybe, but it's safe." I wanted to argue, tell him that safety isn't the same as happiness. But who was I to talk? I'd agreed to this whole arrangement for money. "We should probably head home," Ethan said. "Got an early morning tomorrow." As we drove back in silence, I couldn't stop thinking about what he'd said. Ethan was scared, genuinely scared of getting hurt, just like me. Month 6 hit, and everything fell apart. It was a Friday night. Ethan came home super late again. I'd made dinner. It was ice cold by the time he finally walked through the door. "Sorry," he muttered, heading straight for his room. "Had drinks with some clients." I followed him down the hall. "Ethan, wait a second." He stopped, but didn't turn around. "What? Are you avoiding me on purpose? Don't be ridiculous. Then why have you been working late literally every single night this week? Why do you leave before I even wake up?" Ethan turned around slowly. "Because it's easier this way." "Easier than what?" "Than this." He gestured between us frantically, then pretending we're something we're not. "We're friends, though, aren't we? Or is even that too much to ask?" "Friends?" laughed Ethan, but it sounded bitter. "Adrian, you really don't get it. Then explain it to me." "I can't be your friend," Ethan practically shouted, "because every single time I'm around you, all I want is—" He stopped, his jaw clenched tight. Want what? I whispered. Ethan looked at me, really, truly looked at me. The air between us felt electric, charged with something. Then he closed the distance in 2 steps, cupped my face in both hands. This, he breathed out, and kissed me. It wasn't gentle at all. It was desperate, hungry, like he'd been holding back for months and finally snapped. I kissed him back just as hard. His scent surrounded me completely, overwhelming and perfect. We stumbled backward until I hit the wall. Ethan's hands tangled in my hair, mine clutched at a shirt. This was breaking every single rule we'd set up. But God, it felt so right. Ethan pulled back suddenly, breathing hard. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Don't apologize, I said quickly. Not for that. Adrian, this complicates literally everything. I know. We had an agreement, 1 year, clean break. I know. Ethan rested his forehead against mine. We can't do this. I know. But neither of us moved even an inch away. That night, rules were completely and thoroughly broken. Ethan marked me, temporarily, but it was intense. His scent mixed with mine, cedarwood and vanilla blending together. Perfect. Afterward, we lay tangled up together in his bed. What does this even mean? I asked softly. Ethan's arms tightened around me. I don't know yet. Can we just figure it out tomorrow? Okay, but tomorrow never actually came. I woke up alone the next morning. The sheets beside me were cold. Ethan was gone. No note, no text message, nothing. He didn't come home that night, or the next one either. On the 3rd day, he finally called. Adrian, we really need to talk. My stomach dropped. Okay, not over the phone though. I'll be home tonight around 8. When Ethan walked in at exactly 8 p.m., he looked exhausted, dark circles under his eyes. I've been thinking a lot. Here it comes, the rejection I'd been dreading. What we did the other night, it was a mistake. We got caught up in the moment. Each word felt like a knife stabbing into my chest. I see. This whole arrangement was supposed to be simple. We've made it way too complicated. So what are you saying exactly? Ethan pulled an envelope out of his jacket, placed it on the kitchen counter. I think we should end this early. The divorce papers are all ready. You'll still get the full payment we agreed on originally. I stared at that envelope. You want a divorce? It's for the best, for both of us. Something inside me completely shattered. Fine, if that's really what you want. I reached for the envelope with a shaking hand. My phone buzzed on the counter. A text from Dr. Chen at the fertility clinic. Reminder, your 4-week ultrasound is scheduled tomorrow at 10 a.m. Oh God, the baby. In all the chaos of the past month, I'd completely forgotten. After that night with Ethan, I'd started feeling really off, nauseous all the time, exhausted. I'd taken a home test 2 days ago. It came back positive. I'd scheduled an ultrasound just to confirm everything. But I couldn't tell Ethan now, not when he so obviously wanted out of this marriage. Can I have just one more day? I asked quietly. To really think it through? Ethan looked surprised, but not at once. 1 day, Adrian, that's it. He grabbed his jacket and left again. I sank down onto the couch, put my hand on my still flat stomach. What on earth was I supposed to do now? I went to the clinic appointment alone the next morning. Dr. Chen ran the ultrasound and confirmed it, 4 weeks pregnant. Everything looked healthy. The embryo is developing perfectly. Do you have any questions for me? So many questions, but I couldn't voice any of them. When should I tell the father? Dr. Chen smiled gently. Whenever you feel ready, but don't wait too long. You'll need support throughout the pregnancy. Support from a husband who desperately wanted a divorce. I left the clinic feeling completely numb. Back at the penthouse, Ethan was waiting in the living room. Did you think about it? Yeah. And? I should tell him about the baby. It would change everything, right? But what if he thought I was trying to trap him in this marriage? What if he resented our child because of it? I'll sign the papers, I heard myself say. Ethan's expression flickered with something, too fast for me to read. All right then, I'll have my lawyer finalize everything this week. That night, I packed up all my stuff. I couldn't stay here anymore. It hurt too much. The next morning, I called Maya while Ethan was at work. "Can I crash at your place for a while?" "Of course." "What happened, though?" "I'll explain everything later. Promise." I left while Ethan was still at the office. Only took my essential stuff. I left my wedding ring sitting on the kitchen counter, with a note. "Thank you for everything. I'll have my lawyer contact yours about the paperwork. Take care of yourself. Adrian." 2 weeks went by in a blur. I was staying in Maya's tiny guest room, trying to figure out my next move. Meanwhile, Ethan kept calling, texting, leaving voicemails. I ignored all of them. I couldn't deal with it. Until he showed up at Maya's apartment one evening. Maya answered the door and immediately glared at him. "He doesn't want to talk to you." "Maya, please, I really need to see him." "You've done enough damage already, don't you think?" "Is he okay? Is he eating? Sleeping?" A long pause. "He's not doing great, but that's honestly none of your business anymore." "Maya, please, just tell me where he is." "Why? So you can hurt him all over again?" "So I can apologize. I messed up bad, I know that. I need to see him, please." Another pause. "He's in the guest room. But Ethan, if you're just going to mess with his head again, you'd better leave right now." "I won't. I swear I won't." I was sitting on the bed when I heard a knock. "Come in." The door opened. Ethan stood there. "Adrian." I looked up, genuinely shocked. "Ethan? What are you doing here?" "I came to talk." "There's nothing left to talk about." "Please, just hear me out for 5 minutes." I sighed, but nodded. Ethan sat down carefully, keeping some distance. "I was completely wrong, about everything." "Adrian." "Let me finish. I told myself this whole arrangement was purely business, that I wouldn't get attached. But I failed, completely failed." My breath caught in my throat. "I fell for you, Adrian. Somewhere between watching terrible movies together and your awful attempts at teaching me to cook, I fell in love with you." Tears welled up in my eyes. "Then why did you ask for a divorce?" "Because I'm a total coward. I'd never felt this way about anyone before. It scared me. So I convinced myself it was better to end things before I could get hurt." "So you hurt me instead." "I know, and I'm so incredibly sorry. I'm sorry for all of it." He moved closer, took both my hands in his. "I know I don't deserve another chance, but if you'll have me, I want to try this for real. No contract, no expiration date, no rules, just us." I was crying now. "Ethan, there's something I really need to tell you." "What is it?" I took a shaky breath. "I'm pregnant." The whole world seemed to stop. "You're what?" 4 weeks along, from that night we were together. I found out the same day you handed me the divorce papers. His hands moved to my stomach gently. "There's actually a baby?" "Yes." "Our baby?" "Yes." Pure joy spread across Ethan's face. "Adrian, this is incredible." "You're not mad?" "Mad? Why would I possibly be mad?" "I thought maybe you'd think I was trying to trap you into staying married." He cupped my face in both hands, made me look directly at him. "You could never trap me. I'm already yours, have been for months now." "Really?" "Really. Completely, totally yours." He kissed me, soft and gentle and full of promise. When we pulled apart, I was smiling through my tears. "So, no divorce then?" "Absolutely not. You're stuck with me now. Forever, if you'll have me." "Promise?" "I promise with everything I have." I moved back into the penthouse that same week, but this time, everything was totally different. We shared a bedroom now, shared our whole lives together, actually lived as real husbands for the first time. Ethan was super attentive during the pregnancy, sometimes way too much, honestly. Are you absolutely sure you should be carrying that? It's literally just a book, Ethan. Still though, let me get it for you. I rolled my eyes but couldn't help smiling. We invited Miranda over for dinner to share the news. Mom, Adrian and I have an announcement to make. Miranda looked between us suspiciously. You're not getting divorced, are you? I had a feeling this marriage seemed rushed from the start. Actually, I said, taking Ethan's hand, we're expecting a baby. Miranda's eyes went huge. A baby? You're pregnant? I nodded. For a second, she just stared at us in total silence. Then she broke into this huge, genuine smile. Oh my goodness, this is wonderful news. I'm going to be a grandmother. She pulled me into a tight hug. Over my shoulder, she mouthed to Ethan, Don't you dare mess this up. He nodded seriously. He wouldn't. We spent weekends getting the nursery ready together, painting walls in soft colors, building furniture that came with way too many parts, arguing good-naturedly about decorations. Ethan, we are absolutely not painting the ceiling to look like some elaborate galaxy. Why not, though? It's educational for the baby. It's completely over the top. Fine, but I'm at least adding some glow-in-the-dark stars up there. Deal. While we worked, I'd occasionally wince and put my hand on my growing stomach. You okay there? Just kicking around, little one's really active today. He placed his hand right beside mine, felt those tiny movements. That's our baby in there. Our baby, I repeated, smiling. At 30 weeks, something scary happened. I started bleeding out of nowhere. We rushed to the emergency room immediately. I'd never seen Ethan so terrified in my entire life. Dr. Chen ran a bunch of tests. We waited for what felt like hours. Finally, she came out. Adrian is fine, the baby is fine, but you need to be on strict bed rest for the rest of the pregnancy. I nearly collapsed with relief right there. Ethan squeezed my hand tight. We're okay. You scared me so bad. I scared myself too, trust me. That night he held me close, extra careful of my stomach. I can't lose you, either of you. You won't. We're fighters, remember? At 38 weeks, I went into labor. We had prepared as much as we could, read all the books, took those classes. Nothing really prepared me for the actual experience, though. You're doing amazing, babe, Ethan encouraged, wiping sweat off my forehead. Easy for you to say, I gasped between contractions. You're not the one pushing a whole human out of your body right now. Fair point, honestly. Hours passed. Long, difficult, exhausting hours. Then finally, we heard it. That first cry. Our son. Dr. Chen placed him on my chest immediately. He's absolutely perfect, I sobbed. Ethan, look at him. I'm looking. I see him. Our son. Our beautiful, perfect boy baby. He's got your eyes, Ethan said softly. In your nose for sure. We decided to name him Lucas, after my grandfather who'd passed away years ago. The first week home was total chaos. Sleepless nights that blurred together, constant feedings every few hours, more diaper changes than I could possibly count. But honestly, it was perfect. One night around 3 a.m. I found Ethan in the nursery, holding Lucas close while he cried softly. Hey, what's wrong? Nothing's wrong at all. I'm just really happy. I never thought I'd actually have this. I wrapped my arms around both of them. Me neither. I'm so glad you changed your mind about the divorce, Ethan whispered. Best decision I ever made. Well, second best anyway. What was the first? Saying yes when you asked me to marry you in the first place. Lucas made this tiny little noise, like he totally agreed with me. 1 year later, we renewed our vows, this time with family and friends actually there, this time with real love behind every word. As we stood at the altar, I looked at Ethan, my husband, the father of my child, the absolute love of my life. I thought I just needed some business arrangement. Turns out, I needed you, Just you." I smiled through happy tears. "You once told me that caring about someone gives them power to hurt you, but it also gives them power to heal you. Thank you for letting me heal you, for letting me love you." We kissed while everyone cheered. Lucas, being held by his grandmother, clapped his tiny hands together. 5 years later, Lucas was starting kindergarten. We stood at the school gates together, watching him run off excitedly to join the other kids. "Our baby's growing up way too fast," I said, wiping my eyes. "We've still got another one at home, though," Ethan reminded me. Our daughter Emma was 2 years old now, currently at home with Ethan's mom, probably causing all kinds of chaos. "Think we should go rescue your mom?" "Nah, she can totally handle it." We walked back to the car hand in hand. "Hey, Ethan?" "Yeah?" "I love you so much." "I love you too. Always will." It took a fake contract marriage to find real, genuine love, but honestly, I wouldn't change a single thing about our story. Because in the end, I got everything I never even knew I needed. A real family, an actual home, and Ethan. Always Ethan.